Hey guys, we're back here with Miles Coffee. We were just talking about our thoughts on what can be done more when it comes to sexual harassment and assault to try to limit that as a problem. So I think we should pretty much finish up with that conversation. One thing I didn't even mention in sports-wise is the Winter Olympics is coming up. I didn't even notice it. You know, honestly, I don't think the Winter Olympics is nearly as exciting as the Summer Olympics. I mean, I don't even watch the Winter Olympics that much. I mean, there's not that many sports out there that are super exciting for me to watch. Do you watch much of it at all?
I like it just for the variation in sports because I would never watch luge or bobsled or any of that at any other.
Right.
So I watch it for that type of stuff, but do I watch it for curling and all the like figure skating and whatnot? No, I just kind of pick and choose what I like to watch or what I would watch.
So I do enjoy snowboarding and skiing and stuff. It's really funny you just mentioned that because I'm going to sound so Canadian when I say this. I actually do enjoy curling. I'm not going to lie. That's the one sport I can kind of get into when it comes to Winter Olympics. It's like, oh, curling's on. I'll watch it for like 15, 20 minutes. But like that snowboarding or like skiing and stuff like that. Because I mean, there are some crazy stuff that some of those guys do and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely cool to watch sports that don't get as much coverage. I agree. I think that's cool. It's just, I don't know. It's not the Summer Olympics for me. It's just not the same excitement. Like, I'll watch the World Cup more than I will the Olympics this year, and the USA isn't even in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Personally. Okay, cool. So I think that covers all of that. The next thing I wanted to talk about, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys what I do every week. I give you guys the good news story of the week because obviously there's a lot of bad stuff that happens out there in the world and in America and all that kind of stuff. But we forget that there are actually some good things that happen and good things that people do and all that kind of stuff. So the one story that I have for you guys that I think is just great that I found while looking earlier today. So, beloved bus driver and diehard Eagles fan was surprised with Super Bowl tickets. So bus driver Gary Kelmer has spent the last 26 years making sure that not only do the kids in his community get to school safely, they also learn all the words of the fight song of his beloved Philadelphia Eagles. Because of his dedication, the grateful people of Mount Laurel, New Jersey, are sending the bus driver, affectionately known as Mr. Gary, on his longest route yet, 1,193 miles to Minneapolis, Minnesota for Super Bowl 52. Kelmer was at a loss for words on Monday when about 50 people surprised him at the last stop on his route with tickets for him and his wife to attend Sunday's big game between the Eagles and the defending Super Bowl champion Patriots. He was tearful on everything. He was ecstatic on everything, and I think that's just great. So basically, the parents of two of Kelmer's regular riders raised over $5,000 from 124 donors in 5 days on GoFundMe, and they used that money towards the tickets, travel, and hotel accommodations for Kelmer and his wife. I think that's just such a great story. I mean, like, a guy who's like great to all the kids and stuff like that. I mean, he definitely deserves it, and I think that's really cool. Like, that's just, we don't even hear that kind of stuff, and that's such a cool story. Okay, cool. Oh, my thing's messing up. One sec. All right, I think we're back on. We're good. All right, cool. All right, so that's your good news story of the week. Now on to something from good to stupid. So here is the headline this week. And no, this is not fake news. I thought this was fake news when I first looked at it, but then I saw it was in the Washington Post, and I was like, well, damn. So, a California bill would jail people for handing out plastic straws. So here's the story. The majority leader of the California State Assembly has introduced a bill that would, as written, impose jail sentences of up to 6 months if a restaurant worker hands out a single unsolicited plastic straw. Oh my God. Can you believe this stuff, man? Like, we really do not live in, like, a good state.
No, California is going to shit. I should say gone to shit.
Yeah.
We are just creating laws just to create laws now, just for the fun of it. If anyone's offended over anything, we create a law for it. If anyone doesn't like something, we create a law for it. We just creating laws out for everything, taxes for everything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's insane. So more to this story. So Ian Calderon is the dumbass who did this. He blamed a miscommunication for the bill's strict criminal penalties and promised to remove them before it's voted on. Okay, well, that's good. So I didn't actually know about that. So that's good. So I found that. He's quoted this. I understand all the commotion about the penalties. He said they were never intended to be in the bill. But repercussions have already spread beyond California, complicating a national movement to eliminate drinking straws. Jesus Christ. A report by Reason, a libertarian magazine, throws doubt on national drinking straw estimates, 500 million used each day. There have been that have been cited by Calderon, many environmental groups, and even the federal government in anti-drinking straw campaigns. I have no problem with being environmentalists and stuff like that, but when you start doing stuff like this, you're losing the rest of the country. I'm sorry. So Reason
This is
report
where the environmentalists get a bad name, is shit like this.
exactly right. I mean, look, climate change is real and everything. I mean, that's basic, but when you actually do stuff like this, it just makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Reason reports that the widely used figure is based on a telephone poll conducted by a 9-year-old boy. Okay. A movement to eliminate plastic straws has been spreading across the country for years before Calderon's bill came along, the Post Daryl Fears wrote last year. It was fueled by reports of trash-littered oceans and a viral video of a sea turtle found with a strap up its nose. And obviously that's bad, but okay, let's take about the number of plastic straws that are used every year, and then let's put the number that, have that bad stuff happen to them. I think, I don't know, maybe 0.2% are the bad.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insane. It's just so stupid. It makes no sense. So we're spending tax dollars on these people if they're going to get jail time and actually are going to get in prison for stuff like this, which makes no sense whatsoever because there's no violence involved at all. And you're just wasting time where the government could be doing something else that actually benefits us, and which they never do. I'm just saying that they could. It just makes no sense at all. So, I mean, I didn't actually realize it was that big of an issue across the country. I know that there's been the whole plastic bag thing, not just in California, but other places, and we voted on that last in 2016. But I mean, just overall, I think I know what you're going to say, but what are your thoughts on this overall? What are your thoughts on it nationwide, environmentalism in general? What are your thoughts on this whole situation?
I'm all for whatever environmentalists want to do. Save the environment, save the world, save whatever you want to save. But I'm all for it being privately funded. I don't think the government should have a hand in it.
Right.
They can do their part to do a little bit of preventative measures, but I don't think they should be spending our tax dollars on that, which I'm sure a lot of people, as stupid as it is, don't believe in it, or they have their own little different thought process on that. I don't know. I just think government should keep their hand out of it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, the fact that that's even mentioned is something the government should try to do. It just shows you how wrong we've gotten in America, how far we've moved to authoritarianism away from just okay, let people just drink out of goddamn plastic straws.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insane. It just really, we've gone completely off the deep end, especially in California. And that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about. So, we talked a little bit about this before the show, but obviously me and you, we both do not like Jerry Brown. We both think he has been awful for the state. Could you see yourself voting Republican in 2018, later this year? Because I know me and you were both pretty libertarian, but after everything that's happened under this administration with Jerry Brown and everything, could you see yourself voting Republican? And overall, what would be the reason why they would put you over that tipping point that would say, okay, I'm just going to make sure that the person with the D doesn't get in?
Yes, I can see myself voting Republican. Why? Because Gavin Newsom is Jerry Brown 2.0, if not worse. I would vote for anybody but him on the ballot. I'm just tired of the liberal reign that there is in California. It's not even, it's just insane how long not even how long, just how much the liberals have driven California into the ground. We're almost bankrupt. We're not in a good state right now. And I think maybe hopefully a Republican could help us out a little bit, but I definitely don't think Democrat is the way to go.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, there is a guy running. His name's Travis Allen. He might make it for the Republican side. I've seen a few of his things, and he's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like you're gonna get the typical Republican Democrat regardless. I mean, it just sucks. Which is why I honestly, if it's them two and you can't write anything in, or I don't know the name, I might just not vote for governor. Honestly, it's that bad.
Yeah.
But
Well, if Travis Allen doesn't get in, there might not even be a Republican running against him.
that's crazy. Yeah, that's insane.
That's even worse.
That's even worse, yeah. Honestly. There's a couple things I want to touch on in terms of California. Before I do so, though, Al gave me a comment here. So back to what you were saying about being taught what's moral or not for sexual assault. I am almost sure that people that commit these crimes are 100% sure that they are doing. They just don't care about morals. We are already taught in school, so that no means no enough. He said that they know it's wrong, but they just don't care. And that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. It's just... yeah, I mean, something's got to be done. But, I mean, yeah, that's a good point on it. So about back to California. So, I was talking about the plastic bag thing that was voted on in 2016. Well, another thing that got voted on in 2016 was Prop 64 when it came to legalizing marijuana. And it's been a month because today is the 1st of February. It was legalized the first of the year in California. So it's been a month now. Overall, what are your thoughts on legal marijuana in California so far? Do you think that the law it should have been differently? Do you think that it should have been legalized in a different way? Do you disagree with the prop? Overall, what are your thoughts on the whole issue of marijuana legalization in California and how everything's going so far?
I like that it's legalized. I agree with that, definitely. But I think it could be done in a better way, just because of the astronomical tax that's on it, which to be expected in California. But people are going in there and buying $45 worth of whatever, and the sticker price is $45, and they end up paying over $100 because of all the tax on it.
Right.
Which in reality, it's being treated as recreational, and the medical card users do get some tax breaks on it because it is medicinal for them technically. But I definitely think it could be done better. It could be reformed a little bit to probably knock down that tax. I don't see the point in legalizing it and then making it so expensive that nobody can buy it. Colorado's doing a lot of great things with all the money being generated from it. I would like to see California do some of that, like they're putting it into the schools and all the different things, and the federal government can't touch it because it's all cash business.
Right. Well, I mean, they're trying to. I mean, Sessions is trying to.
Yeah, Sessions is someone that's stuck in the 1960s. He just needs to get with the times. Whether he likes it or not, the general public, most of the U.S. supports legalizing marijuana.
Right.
Which even the fact that it's legal and alcohol is legal and people want to argue about what should be what is stupid, because it's way safer. The stats prove that, and nobody ever wants to talk stats about marijuana. They just want to talk about, oh, it's bad, it's stoner stereotype, this, that, blah, blah, blah. But when you look at the facts, alcohol and a lot of the other stuff that's legal is way worse. So I don't think marijuana is or should be a huge thing on the government's radar. I think they should legalize it and then keep their hand out of it and worry on other things.
Right. Well, and I don't know how many times I've mentioned this stat before within the last 3 years alone, but there's been literal studies on the dangerousness of drugs. Like, they do this stuff. Experts do this. Alcohol is literally 114 times more dangerous than marijuana. It is literally the most dangerous drug out there. And marijuana is still Schedule 1. Alcohol is out there being paraded. And I'm not saying, like, alcohol should be illegalized. Obviously not. I'm just saying that we live in a very hypocritical place. And when we get back from break, I'm going to say why I think the whole marijuana conversation is just wrong in the first place, and where we actually need to be on the issue of drugs and the conversation we need to have in this country and that nobody's willing to have. So we will be right back for part 4. So stay tuned.